Hello everyone. In this video, we will create a custom field of type email. All we have to do is come to setup, go to object manager and choose any object and then go into fields and relationships and then click new. We can choose whichever field type we want from this entire list. For now, I want to create an email field to store the supplier's email address. So I'm going to choose email field. You can read the descriptions, which will clearly explain what each field type represents. For now, let's just click next. Say supplier email address. We can add a description or a help text. That's up to us. We don't want this field to be required. We What this checkbox does is if I mark this as true, it will not allow duplicate values. So let's say we create a supplier named Verizon and we give them an email address at, let's say, verizon@gmail.com, right? Just an example. Next, we create another supplier called AT&T, and then again we accidentally write an email address of verizon@gmail.com in that records field. It will throw an error because we're not allowed to have duplicate email fields. Right. For now, I'm just gonna leave it unchecked. External ID field as discussed. This is for when we have an external system from where we're bringing in our data into Salesforce and taking data back and forth. That's where we need an external ID field. For now, it's not relevant. So again, we're just going to let this be as is. Yes, I want to be able to report on this field. So I'm just going to leave this as checked. Basically, a Salesforce email field ensures that we enter an email address or the user always enters a valid email address in this field. You cannot write simple text in this field. You need to have an email address with a suffix and then the at the rate and then the domain name. For example, verizon@gmail.com. You cannot just have Verizon Gmail. No, that won't work. Or Verizon@gmail. That won't work either. You have to have the dot com or whatever it may be, .net, .org, or anything else, right? We're going to click next. We want this to be visible to everyone, so we're going to click visible and then we'll click next. We want this to show up in our page layout when we're creating a record, so we're going to hit save. Now let's go on our front end, hit refresh. So we're in the suppliers record object page. Now let's say we want to create a new supplier. We can give it a name of, for now, I'm just going to call it master supplier. Master, let's just assume that's the supplier's company name. Postal address, let's say 75001. Supplier type, this time let's say it's a wholesaler. And email address, let's say master at Gmail. So let me show you what will happen if I try to save it. See, it says review the following field, supplier email address. It says invalid email type. So I have to enter a proper email. Now this is a proper email, master@gmail.com. It will let me save it now. And here we have it. So our supplier name, their postal code, supplier type, and supplier email address right here. So we have our record created. And another thing that we can do is we can go back to all suppliers. We created two suppliers. We can go to an old supplier as well. We can click edit Or so now we see the email address field. It wasn't previously there when we created this record because this field didn't exist back then, but now it does. So we can either click on edit or we can click on this pencil icon right here and add an email address. Let's just say Verizon at gmail.com. And now we have our email address. So that'll be all. Thank you.